Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the Pittsburgh Steelers are no strangers to headlines, especially when it comes to the AFC North, a division known for its grit, toughness, and fierce rivalries. But what's really capturing everyone's attention now? Well, it's the latest buzz around the division, some strategic moves, and the potential shakeup that could reshape the entire landscape of the conference. And trust me, Steelers fans, this isn't just small talk or fleeting rumors. We're talking about developments that could define the Steelers' trajectory for the next few seasons, maybe even for the rest of the decade. To start, let's talk about where the Steelers stand right now. Pittsburgh, since the arrival of head coach Mike Tomlin back in 2007, has been a consistent force in the league. That's nearly 2 decades of competitive football, and even in seasons that didn't end with a playoff appearance, the team has always shown resilience and a fighting spirit. This season, expectations are high once again. The Steelers have been working tirelessly in the offseason, tweaking their roster, focusing on strengthening key positions, and trying to address some of the gaps that kept them from making a deeper playoff run last year. One of the most talked about topics lately has been the quarterback situation. You see, Pittsburgh has been known for their stability at the position, especially with Ben Roethlisberger's long tenure. But with his retirement after the 2021 season, the team faced the challenge of finding a new leader under center. They've drafted and developed players like Kenny Pickett, who showed flashes of brilliance during his rookie year, but questions remain about whether he can be the franchise quarterback that Pittsburgh has been craving since Big Ben's departure. And this offseason, the rumors swirled even more, especially with some reports suggesting the Steelers might be exploring veteran options, possibly even looking at trades or free agents to bring in someone who can elevate the offense immediately. But what's really stirring the pot now is the ongoing saga involving some high-profile NFL names, particularly Aaron Rodgers. Yes, Rodgers, the legendary quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, has been the subject of intense speculation, and recent reports indicate that he might be eyeing a new team, possibly even making a move to the AFC. Now, I know what some of you are thinking: could the Steelers be in play for Rodgers? Well, while that might seem like a long shot, the NFL is unpredictable, and with Pittsburgh's need for a veteran presence and a proven winner, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Imagine a scenario where Rodgers, with his experience, leadership, and ability to elevate any offense, joins a team like the Steelers. It would be a game changer, no doubt. It could accelerate the team's Super Bowl window significantly, especially if he finds chemistry with the young weapons like George Pickens or Deontay Johnson. It would also send a strong message to the division. Pittsburgh is serious about competing now, not just rebuilding. But of course, the Steelers are cautious, smart, and strategic. They're weighing their options, looking at their cap space, and considering how a veteran like Rodgers could fit into their long-term plans. Now, let's not forget that the AFC North is stacked with talent. The Cincinnati Bengals, led by Joe Burrow, have been a powerhouse, making deep playoff runs and establishing themselves as a serious contender. The Baltimore Ravens are always lurking, with Lamar Jackson potentially returning to MVP form after injury setbacks. And the Cleveland Browns, with their imposing defense and offensive weapons, are no pushover either. So, any move Pittsburgh makes now, especially involving a player of Rodgers' caliber, could tilt the scales in this fierce division. It's a chess match, and the stakes are high. But beyond the quarterback saga, there are other developments that could have significant implications for the Steelers. The team has been actively addressing their offensive line issues, which plagued them last season, especially in pass protection. Improving that unit is crucial if they want Kenny Pickett or any quarterback to succeed and to keep their running game, led by Najee Harris, functioning at a high level. The defense, historically the backbone of the Steelers, remains a strength, with some key players like T.J. Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Cameron Hayward anchoring a unit that's among the best in the league. Yet even here, there's room for upgrades, especially in the secondary and linebacker positions, to ensure that Pittsburgh's defense can continue to dominate and create turnovers. Now, when we look at the current roster, it's clear that the Steelers are in a bit of a transitional phase. They've got some young talent emerging, like rookie wide receivers and promising defenders, but they also need seasoned veterans to step up and guide the team through the grind of a long NFL season. The coaching staff, under Tomlin's leadership, is known for its ability to get the most out of their players, especially in clutch moments. That's historically been one of their biggest strengths, but in a league that's increasingly driven by star power and strategic roster moves, they'll need to be shrewd if they want to contend for the Super Bowl again. And speaking of Super Bowls, Steelers fans, you'll remember that this franchise has a storied history of success. 6 Lombardi trophies, legendary players like Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris, Jerome Bettis, and more recently, Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger, have built a legacy of winning. That's ingrained in the DNA of this team. And every season, the hope is that they can recapture that magic, that they can build a team capable of making a deep playoff run and ultimately hoisting another trophy. The question now is whether the current roster, with a few strategic additions and some tactical adjustments, can take that step forward. The upcoming NFL season promises to be exciting, especially with all these moving parts. The Steelers' schedule looks challenging, with games against division rivals, tough non-conference opponents, and playoff-caliber teams. Their ability to navigate this gauntlet will depend heavily on how well they can integrate new players, improve their offensive line, and find consistency on both sides of the ball. And if they manage to do that, they could very well be dark horses in the AFC, especially if they make a splash with a veteran acquisition or a surprise breakout from their young stars. Now fans, I want to highlight that the AFC North, traditionally one of the toughest divisions in football, is shaping up to be even more intense this year. The Bengals, Ravens, Browns, and Steelers are all vying for supremacy, and every game will be a battle. The rivalry games are going to be must-watch, especially as these teams are all looking to establish dominance early in the season. Pittsburgh's defense, with its aggressive pass rush and playmaking secondary, will be key in these matchups. Offensively, the team needs to find consistency and develop a rhythm, something that can come from a veteran presence or the growth of their young quarterback. But beyond just winning games, the Steelers are also looking at their future. They've been smart about drafting and developing talent, emphasizing a culture of toughness and resilience. The front office, led by GM Omar Khan, has been astute in managing the cap and making strategic moves to keep the team competitive. They understand that to compete in today's NFL, you need a mix of experienced veterans and young, athletic players hungry to prove themselves. That balance will be crucial in the coming months as they build their roster for another Super Bowl push. Now let's talk a little about the fan base. If there's one thing Pittsburgh fans are known for, it's their loyalty, their passion, and their unwavering support through thick and thin. The Steelers Nation spans across the country and even around the world. Every offseason, we see fans eagerly awaiting news, debating the team's moves, and dreaming of another championship. That passion fuels the team, and it's what makes following this franchise so special. No matter what happens in free agency, draft, or during the season, Steelers fans are always hopeful, always rooting for their team to succeed. And with that in mind, the upcoming season feels like a pivotal moment. Will the Steelers finally make that leap back into serious Super Bowl contention? Will they find the missing piece, whether it's a veteran quarterback, an offensive line upgrade, or a game-changing defender? The possibilities are exciting, and the entire NFL universe is watching to see what Pittsburgh does next. One thing is for sure, this team has the history, the culture, and the grit to rise again. It's just a matter of executing the plan, staying healthy, and perhaps making that bold move that takes them over the top. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Steelers coaching staff is already preparing for the challenges ahead. They're focusing on improving their offensive schemes, ensuring their defense remains aggressive and opportunistic, and fostering a team environment where every player knows their role and fights for each other. The front office is also scouting potential trade targets and free agents, trying to find that extra spark that can push the team into the elite tier of the NFL. The draft is also crucial. With a deep class of talented prospects, Pittsburgh has options to bolster their roster further. And don't forget, the NFL is a league of stories. Every season brings surprises, breakout stars, surprising injuries, unexpected twists. The Steelers are no strangers to this. Remember the 2008 season when they went from underdog to Super Bowl champions? Or the resilience they showed in 2017 after a tough start, turning it around in the second half. That resilience, that never-say-die attitude, is what defines this franchise. It's why even amidst uncertainties, fans remain optimistic. Because history has shown us that Pittsburgh can rise from adversity, adapt, and come out on top. Now, some of you might be wondering about the draft picks, free agency moves, or specific players to watch. Well, keep an eye on their young talent, like the wide receivers and linebackers stepping into bigger roles, and see how the veterans perform in the new season. The offensive line, as I mentioned, is a key area to upgrade. The team has been linked to some free agents and trade rumors that could make a real difference. Additionally, the Steelers' special teams unit has been solid, but always looking for ways to improve, especially in the return game and coverage units, which can often be game changers. And what about the division rivals? The Bengals, with their explosive offense led by Joe Burrow and star receivers like Jamar Chase, are looking to defend their throne. The Ravens, under Lamar Jackson, want to return to MVP form, and their defense remains formidable. The Browns, with their tough defense and now with Deshaun Watson at quarterback, are also vying for respect. It's a division that promises fireworks every time these teams face each other, and the Steelers will need to be at their best to come out on top in these crucial matchups. In the end, what we're witnessing is a team that's at a crossroads, with a lot of potential, some key questions to answer, and a fan base hungry for success. The Steelers have always been about resilience, community, and a winning tradition. The next few months will be critical in shaping their destiny. Will they make that bold move? Will they develop their young talent into stars? Will they find a way to outsmart their division rivals and reach the ultimate goal, another Super Bowl? All of these questions are on the table, and the excitement is palpable. Fans, you should be just as eager as I am to see how this story unfolds. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these developments? Do you believe the team is headed in the right direction? Are you excited about the possibility of a big-name quarterback coming in? Or do you think the current roster has enough to make a deep playoff run? Drop your thoughts, predictions, and opinions in the comments below. Your voice matters a lot, not just to me, but to the entire Steelers community. And don't forget, I'll be back very soon with more updates, insights, and news about your favorite team. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep that Steelers fire burning bright. Because this season, everything is on the line, and I know that with the right moves, Pittsburgh can rise again to greatness.